we are going to study a poem written by Robert Frost, an American poet. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. This is a poem written by American poet Robert Frost. This poem was written in 1922 and later on it was published in the year 1923. The poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening is told from the perspective of a traveler. It means that the person who is speaking in this poem is a traveler who stops to watch the snowfall in the forest. The poet has used the word woods for forest in this poem. So, first of all, let's read the poem. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening. Which woods these are? I think I know. His house is in the village, though he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So in this beautiful poem, there are altogether 4 stanzas. Let's speak some words about what the poet wants to tell us in each stanza. In the first stanza, the speaker or the poet thinks about who owns the woods that he or she is passing through, and is fairly sure of knowing the landowner. However, the owner's home is far away in the village, and thus he is physically incapable of seeing the speaker pause or the speaker's stop to watch the snowfall in the forest. In the second stanza, the speaker thinks his or her horse must find it strange to stop so far from any sign of civilization. Indeed, they are surrounded only by the forest and the frozen lake on the longest night of the year. In the third stanza, the horse shakes the bells on its harness, as if asking if the speaker has made a mistake by stopping. But the only other sound besides the ringing of these bells is that of the wind and falling snowflakes, which the speaker likens to the feathers of goose down. And in the last stanza, the speaker finds the woods very alluring, drawn both to their darkness and how vast and all-encompassing they seem. However, the speaker has obligations to fulfill elsewhere. Thus, though he or she would like to stay and rest, the speaker knows there are many more miles to go before that will be possible. Hence, in short, we can summarize the poem like this. The poet in the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, the poet compares human life with a journey. The speaker of the poem is a traveler. He has to reach his destination before taking rest. However, he is distracted by the momentary pleasure in the form of the woods. His companion, the horse, reminds him of his promises in life. The speaker realizes that he has to fulfill many responsibilities before his death, and thus he started his journey again. In the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, there are some words of vocabulary that might be important while studying the poem. Number 1, farmhouse. Farmhouse, farmhouse. Farmhouse is the main house on a farm, usually where the farmer lives. Number 2, flake. 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 Flake means covered in something very soft. Covered in something very soft. Third word, queer. 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 Queer means strange, odd, or unusual. Number 4 word is woods. Woods. Woods is an area of trees which is smaller than a forest. An area of trees smaller than a forest. Number 5, sweep. 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 Sweep means movement of the air. Movement of the air. Number 6, harness. 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 Harness is a set of leather and metal pieces that is put around the body of a horse. A set of leather and metal pieces that is put around the body of a horse is harness.